guys, it's Sarah, and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to give you guys some recommendations for our upcoming readathon, which is the BookList BackList Readathon happening in the month of April. And I will leave our announcement video link down below if you haven't seen it yet. It's going to be taking place April 11th through the 17th, and we're focusing on backlist books. We have 5 prompts that we wanted you guys to have the opportunity to complete if you want to. By no means is this required, but just like fun little prompts if you wanted some guidance. So we are going to take those prompts. We are going to give you some recommendations. Okay, so I do want to say this kind of disclaimer about the prompts. So yes, we picked 5. We picked 5 prompts for a week-long readathon. That's pretty normal for readathons. And that is for pure guidance. Like, you don't have to use any of these prompts if you don't want to. Just read books off your backlist and you've done the readathon. That's really the only concentration here. The reason that we provide prompts is for guidance. If you want to challenge yourself to do something, they're just challenges. That's all they are. You do not by any means have to do all 5 of these prompts. Pick your favorite and go. Or what we're going to do, double up on them. I have picked, which I'm not going to show you till my TBR, I have picked one book that fits 3 of these prompts. And that's the only book I'm going to read for all 3 of these prompts. So double them up, double, triple. If you can find one book that fits all 5, you're going to win everything about this readathon. That would be amazing. So there is 0 expectation for you to read 5 books in a week. I don't even read 5 books in a week. Lindsay doesn't read 5 books in a week. We don't do that. They're just for fun. Again, 5 is a normal number. Like, if you look at other readathon announcements, you'll see, even if it's just a week long, they'll pick 5 or so prompts for you, and they're just for fun. So I was getting a little bit of feedback on our announcement video about the expectation of reading 5 books in a week, and that is not the expectation here, guys. It's just for fun. Pick what you want. Don't read what you don't. It's your readathon. You do what you want with it, 100%. But as far as Lindsay and I go, we are going to be using the prompts, but we are going to be doubling up on them. So we are not going to read 5 books in a week. That's not realistic for me at all. So just wanted to throw that out there based on the feedback I was getting. So all good. You do you. If any of these books fit multiple prompts, I will note that as well. But the first one is to read a backlist book by your favorite author or one of your favorite authors. Now, this one is a little bit more personalized because you know who your favorite authors are. I do not. So these are books that are written by some of my favorite authors that are backlisted that I would probably pick from as far as that one goes. So I'll just show you what I have that would be my personal picks. So the first one is going to be Karen Slaughter, and the one that I have would be Coptown. This one is one of her older releases, and I believe it takes place in Atlanta, and it follows a police precinct that is dealing with some racism that's happening in it, and there's a big case that happens, and it kind of brings all that to light. And I believe we are following detectives on this police force, and there's a lot of tension and stuff like that. So this is definitely something that I would do. This also takes place in the 1970s, so there's that. But Karen Slaughter is definitely a favorite author of mine, and this is a backlist book of hers that I have not read. Another favorite author of mine is Jodi Picoult, and she is an author that I have loved most of her books that I've read. There have been a few here and there that I was just like, that was just okay. But she has such a backlist. It's ridiculous. She has a lot of books that she has written. So you'd have a lot to choose from as far as this one goes. The one that I grabbed off my shelves is Small Great Things. This is one that definitely calls to me every time I think about reading another Jodi book. I think about this one. And this is another book that deals with racism, actually. It follows a woman who is a nurse in the maternity ward in the hospital that she works in, and she is Black. A white couple comes in. The woman is ready to give birth. However, this couple, they are white supremacists, so they do not want to work with this nurse in particular. They don't want her anywhere near their baby. They make that very obnoxiously clear. And something happens overnight to the child in the nursery, and she is the only one on staff at the time, or in the area at the time. So she's the only one who can help this child. So she has to make the decision, am I going to help this baby even though I've been clearly directed not to? Or or do I let this baby die? Basically, like, what is she going to do? So a lot of things happening there, but this is the one that I would probably pick up of all the ones that I have. I think this one you could probably also pick maybe for the color. Like there's like it's more of a coral pink, I guess, but there's some pink on the cover. So I think I would probably count this for the color on the cover that's coming up here as well. Another favorite author that I would definitely pick up from a backlist is Britt Marie Was Here. This is by Frederick Bachman. And I believe this one follows a woman named Britt Marie. And I think she's like a curmudgeon. I think that's what this is. She's just a very particular woman, and you kind of follow her and through some of her relationships and new people that she's meeting and stuff. So yeah, but I will read anything this man writes. Okay, prompt number 2 is a book that is collecting dust. Now, this again, it's a very personalized thing for you. You know what's in your house. You know what's been sitting there for a long time. I do not know that for your own bookshelf, so you have to, do that. But here are 3 books that have been on my shelves for a very long time that have literally been collecting dust. I actually pulled one of these off the shelves the other day and I blew dust off the top of it. So it's literally collecting dust. Okay, so the first one is The Art of Fielding. This is by Chad Harbach. Now, I've had this for a long time and I had seen it making rounds like a very long time ago. And I bought it because I'd heard really good things about it. People were posting it everywhere and all this stuff. And then I bought it and then it's just been sitting here. So I don't know. It's about baseball. I don't watch baseball. I used to. I did in high school. The Atlanta Braves, they were my team. I still get excited when they just won the World Series. I was excited for them. I don't watch anymore though. So, but I think I would, I know enough about it that I could follow it. So it's still sitting here. I've not gotten rid of it among many, many book unhauls. It's always still stayed on my shelf. So this would definitely be one collecting dust for me. And this definitely can fall under the scripted font for the title prompt as well. Okay, another one that was sent to me from the publisher. This is one of the first books that I got from a publisher that was unsolicited, and I was very excited about it. But that is Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. I got this before it came out. This is not a new release. There are 3 books in this series that are out now. Not even newly published out. They've been out for a while. Oh, and I haven't read it. But I have read this author, so I do know that I enjoy her writing, at least the book that I have read by her so far, and I want to read her newest one as well. But this one is like a fixer-up. I believe a woman is fixing up a house, and she enlists her brother's best friend maybe to help her, and a romance ensues from there. I heard it's a little bit of not enemies to lovers, maybe a little bit of a friends to lovers type thing. But I've heard it's steamy, so I'm definitely here for that. And this one could also definitely fall under the color category here because her dress is pink. So yeah. And one more collecting dust. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I've had this for a very long time. And yeah, I don't know. I still have it. I haven't read this one yet. This is a Queen of Hearts retelling, but can we talk about, it is so beautiful, of the naked hardback as well. But yeah, I have read books by Marissa Meyer. I read her entire Lunar Chronicles that I really, really enjoyed last year. And I have read the first book in her Renegade series as well that I really enjoyed too. And I want to finish that series. And then I have this one, just haven't read it yet. So, and I also have Gilded. Haven't read that yet, but that's a newer release. So I'm not going to count that one. But yeah, been here for a while. Okay, let's talk about the color because I've mentioned that a couple times now. So Lindsay and I did a random color generator and it came up as this one, which is called Telemagenta, which is what I'm calling it. Lindsay's calling it pink. I'm calling it Telemagenta because it's fun to say. But this is what popped up on our random color generator. So this is the color that we're going with. So this is for everybody. So if you're going to follow the prompts, this is the color we would like you to pick. If you want to do your own, do it. We're not going to knock on your door and police your readathon reading. Just do whatever you want. But if you want to follow along in the prompts, this is the color. So I had a lot to choose from, you guys. I was really surprised at how often the color pink pops up. And I was trying to find something close to this color, just something bright and neon and just kind of overwhelming in your face. And I had a lot to choose from. So the first one I grabbed is Slay. This is by Brittany Morris. And this is like a young adult sci-fi that is supposed to be a little bit similar to maybe Ready Player One. This girl is a hacker and she hacks into this reality game and finds some things are happening behind the scenes. And so she kind of takes it upon herself to try to figure stuff out. But yeah, so definitely pink here. The next one is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. Very pink, as you can see. This one is an adult, I would say it's a thriller, yeah. And it follows this apartment building in New York City that is very exclusive, and we follow a main character who ends up getting a job there as an apartment sitter. And while she is there, she has to follow all these really crazy rules, but she needs the money, so she does it, and then finds herself in a situation that is very dangerous for her and everybody in this building. So yeah, but definitely pink. Got the pink going. Okay, so the last one for the pink, I wanted to go with something like super bright and in your face, and then one that's a little bit more subtle, but it's definitely still there, and that is The Husband's Secret. This is by Liam Moriarty. As you can see, the flower is all pink, and this one follows a woman who is married, and her husband writes her a letter and doesn't want her to open it until after he is dead, but her curiosity gets the best of her, and she reads it anyway, and then just starts questioning everything about her marriage and the man that she thinks she knows from there. I personally have not read this one yet, but this one would definitely be it could go on my list for this. So yeah. Okay, so our next category is 5-star predictions. Now, this is another one that's very personalized to you. What do you think that you would give 5 stars once you read it? So this one is a little hard for us to recommend books because we don't know your personal reading tastes. However, I'm going to show you the last 3 books that I personally gave 5 stars to. So the last 3 reads that are backlist books that I gave 5 stars to. So the first one here is Sweep. This is by Jonathan Auxier. This one is a middle grade book, and it is following a young girl who is a chimney sweep. She is living in basically an orphanage for chimney sweeps. Like they all do the same job, and they are being overseen by this terrible person who abuses them, and they are very much like they are not okay. They're barely living, but they do this job, and it's very dangerous for them. And then she finds herself in a situation where she almost loses her life, and she ends up realizing that she has the protection of an ash monster. I'm not kidding. It's amazing. So definitely a middle grade fantasy book, but oh my gosh, it was just beautiful. The next one I have here is Walk Two Moons. This is by Sharon Creech. Again, another middle grade. Can you tell it was just middle grade March? But this one follows a young girl whose mother has disappeared. So she is getting in the car with her grandparents to go and find her mother. And along the way, they are telling each other stories, and she's learning more about her grandparents when they were younger, and then she is telling a story that happened in her life to her grandparents. And so along this car ride, all these stories are being told, and you're seeing them do stops along the way as well and seeing what happens along those stops. Then it all just kind of comes together towards the end. But this was really, really good. And it was a little jarring at first when you went into it because you're kind of dropped right in the middle of this car after they've already started. So you're kind of like trying to find your footing a little bit in the beginning. But once I found my footing, I was completely in, and I loved it. And the next one I have that I gave 5 stars to is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, an adult science fiction novel. I have raved about this. It's my favorite book of the year so far still. And yeah, so 100% like I would recommend this to the moon and back, literally. And if you can listen to this on audio, I would just please do that if you can. It is an Audible exclusive, so you do have to have Audible to listen to it. That's the only downside. I wish it was available everywhere to everybody, but it's not. But it is probably my favorite audiobook I've ever listened to. It enhanced the reading experience for me so much. I think if I had read it regularly, I still would have given it 5 stars, 100%. But I think the audio just kind of kicked it up almost to a 10 stars for me. I absolutely love this book. It was fantastic. Please read it. And the last category is a book with a scripted font for the title. So not something big and blocky like this. Something nice and pretty and flowy and almost handwritten, you know, just like very pretty font for the title. So I do have 3 here. The first one is Velvet Was the Night. This is by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. As you can see, the font is very scripted. And this one is a short book, but I believe there's a lot packed in here. I think it takes place in the 1970s in Mexico, from what I'm remembering. Yep, 1970s Mexico City. And we're following a woman whose neighbors are very much into drug running and things like that. And then she ends up finding herself in the middle of it. And it's supposed to be almost kind of like a noir movie almost. So yeah, I haven't read anything by this author yet, but this would definitely be one that could be on my list. Another one that I have here is The Summer List. This is by Amy Mason Doan. And this one follows a group of friends that come together for the summer and they do some sort of scavenger hunt. But I believe on this trip, it's like a reunion almost. But I believe in the midst of all the scavenger hunt stuff, some secrets start coming out and it becomes like a whole thing. That's all I really know, but yeah. It's cute. And the last one that I have here is A Sorcery of Thorns. This is by Margaret Rogerson. As you can see, the font is really pretty. This could also work for the color because if you can see in the hilt of her sword here, it's like bright magenta rhinestones. So this could work for both of those as well. So this one is a young adult fantasy novel, and I've heard really, really good things about it. So I want to read it, but I don't fully remember everything and I don't want to really go into it. But I believe this has a lot to do with libraries. There's like magical libraries. So like you don't need to say too much else for me to pick up a book. Magic, libraries, yes, please. Okay, guys, those are some recommendations for the BookList BackList Readathon. I hope it helped. Let me know if it did. Let me know what you're thinking about getting for the readathon. Let me know what you're thinking about reading. Lindsay and I are going to have TBR videos up as well very soon, and we are very excited for this readathon and hope that you guys are going to join in with us. Leave any other recommendations down below. If you have read a book that fits these prompts and you think other people should read it, leave those down below too, because I know that people love to get recommendations. Maybe there's something you recommend that they have on their shelves that they forgot about. That would be fantastic, and I hope it helps. Make sure you go check out Lindsay today and see what books she's recommending for all 5 of these prompts as well, and we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.